Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome to another episode of the Brown Book series. I love what I do, and it just gets better and better and better when I get to interview not only your favorite authors, but my favorite authors as well. So tonight, Brown Book series, please welcome to the stage award-winning, best-selling romance author, Christina C. Jones, affectionately known as CCJ. Hi, Christina.
Hey,
How are you, darling?
I'm doing very good. How about yourself?
Girl, I'm doing better today. Better, girl. Last week I had technical difficulties, mouse, everything was going on last week. But
hey, it happens. We here.
Yes, we're here, and we're glad about it. We are so glad about it. Christina, you are so beautiful.
Thank you.
Girl, your background looks like a you know how like those Hallmark movies and the ladies be sitting at the desk.
Look, this is 2 days worth of work. Me and my husband was in here measuring angles and all kind of stuff, trying to figure out how to put this stuff up here. But we made it work.
Yes, y'all got down, honey. Kudos to the hubby.
Like, because I don't do math like that. And he was in the garage with the saw measuring, and he had the ruler. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna watch you, and I'm gonna stand right here and I'm gonna root you on, and that's about as much help as I could provide in that arena.
Hey, teamwork. Your husband better than mine, girl. My husband would have called Home Depot or somebody. Like, y'all got somebody that can come over here and do this for her. It's just a mess, but I absolutely love it. And I'm so super excited that you're here. So, Christina.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about you. Outside of the literary world, you know, we're gonna get to the books and all that good stuff later. We know you're a badass writer. That we know. But
I am I'm a mom. I've got 2 little girls, an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I do too much crafting. Probably I'm very big into creating, just in all different facets. I like to draw. I like to play with I have a machine that will like do people. Most of y'all know what a Cricut is. I've got my Cricut, and I like doing stuff with that. I like doing graphic design and video editing and just all kind of stuff like that. I'm with all of it. I like putting on parties. I like cooking.
You my kind of girl.
Any type of creative endeavor and anything where I get to eat, basically, I'm in there. I'm into it.
Yo, you my kind of girl. I like to party and eat.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite things. And honestly, that's really kind of where I spend most of my time. Like when I'm not writing, that's the type of stuff that I like to do. I like TV. I'm not much into movies, but I like the stupidest TV that you can think of. And I mean that as a compliment.
Really?
I like really over the top, silly type stuff. That's exactly my type of vibe. Like the ridiculousness or whatever the name of the thing that comes on MTV with all the pranks and stuff. I love it. So
my God.
Just that's completely opposite of what I'm doing for work. That's the type of stuff that I'm into.
Girl, yeah, because your books is so nowhere near silly at all. Like, I just be like, okay then, Miss Christina, that's what I'm talking about. And you know what? And speaking of your books, it brings us to the first segment here in the Brown Book series called Name That Book. Where we take a character, maybe a title. No, not a title. A character, synopsis, paragraph, or something from one of your books, and you have to name that book.
Oh, okay. I'm ready. I'm ready.
She ready, y'all. She
I'm
ready.
ready. I
All
can
right.
do it.
Oh, you can, girl. You can do that. But I believe you. Like, what's the song with Lil Wayne and Kelly Rowland? I believe in you, baby. That's my song, girl. Woo! I was telling my husband that when I want him to do something. I believe in you, baby.
Hey, we got to get the motivation going.
That's it. Motivation. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Name that book. Character. Special Agent Renita Parker.
That would be one of the Catch Me If You Can, one of the If You Can series books, but I'm going to go with her book and say, Release Me If You Can.
Release Me If You Can. Yes, that's right, because you do have a lot of series, so it'll be the main character of any of your series.
Of that particular, okay.
Yeah, but that particular girl, Release Me If You Can, honey. That right there. I say I should have not started with this book of
that was a lot going on.
Listen, I said now I should have started with this book here. Now I should have waited and did something else because there was a lot going on, but it was so good.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was so good. I was like, I wonder if she ever gonna go over to like suspense. We're gonna talk about that later on too. But okay. I'm like, yo, them books, girl, you can, I can see that. All right, name that book. It's like a synopsis, kind of a little bit. Okay. Ready? All right, cool. Mm-hmm. Murderer is a title she never expected to wear. Friend, sure. Boss, hell yeah. But murderer, never. And her Cardi B voice, never.
It's Anonymous X?
It's
Anonymous X! The only reason I guessed that one is because, like, that book was on my mind, like, recently. That's the only reason I guessed that one.
Girl, that book was on my mind recently, too. And before we get to the next one, that's why looking at this book, we're reading this and looking at it, because I can see it as a movie. Reading, I was like, do you ever think you're gonna cross over into the suspense genre, like romance?
It's been a while since I have. Anonymous X is like 3 years old, I think. Yeah, because it's 2021, so yeah, it's 3 years old. And I have not really been back since then. What I'm working on right now kind of has a bit of a suspense element to it, but not quite like that. But I want to write something that is just full-blown suspense, like no romance to it, like just full-blown suspense completely. But it takes a lot, like figuring out, because a lot of times when I write, I don't really know how it's going to end when I start. But with suspense, you kind of have to, because you got to make all these clues and all of that. You got to make it all make sense. And so I've got to figure out the plot and then figure out my ending. And then maybe once I have those two parts, I'll be able to actually make something shake.
Girl, because I was like, listen, you need to do that. Because I was like, she'll be, oh my God. Like, of course you got to write romance. Maybe let somebody kiss somebody to make it like a romance suspense.
Yeah, like a little bit of it. Yeah.
It's a suspense. You like how the whole, what's that? I used to love Bones.
The TV show? Yeah.
I used to love that. So I was like, I like that. But you saw like the underlying, yes, girl. Because honey, I was like, when I see Boots,
and that's the other type of stuff I like to watch on TV. I'm watching NCIS right now. I like Criminal Minds. I like all of that type of stuff like that. That's my jam.
Me too, girl. I'm so old school with it. I be on Murder, She Wrote, girl. Diagnostic Murder. Like I'm a Matlock, Perry Mason kind of girl.
Because the stories are good. Like the storytelling is good in a way that a lot of stuff does not hit that mark anymore in TV. And I know it's because, like, as viewers overall, our attention spans have changed, I think. Yeah. And so they have to kind of lean more into, like the blood and guts and stuff like that. They have to kind of lean more into that to keep the attention. But that old stuff, they knew what they were doing.
They sure did, girl. I was like, I like this here. All right, next up. Name that book. Oh, this is one of my favorites of yours too. Arizona, bitch. You got something you want to tell me? Call me as soon as your ass get off this plane, honey.
That is relationship goals.
That's relationship goals. Girl, let me tell you something. I was like, what? Girl, I love it.
And Noah. Yeah. That is one of, like, in terms of my catalog, they are still one of my favorite couples. Don't ask me to name nobody else because I can't actually give a top 5. But when I think about
Yeah.
it, when I think about it, they're
Yeah.
always up there. Like
I
I
love
really,
that.
yeah.
And that book read like me and my homegirls and me and my dude. Like it was just like the banter was just awesome.
That's what I like to do. Like I want it. That's exactly what I want. I want it to feel like conversations that you would have with friends, or your man or your mom or whatever. Like I want it
Yes.
to feel like you're at home, I guess. Like I guess is the best way to put it. But absolutely. So thank you. That is a very high compliment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, girl, Gladys, I'll tell you when I got to that point, I stood up. I was like, "Hold on, time, my girl." Oh, this. All right. Next up, name that book. For almost 15 years, her friends have considered her relationship the blueprint for lasting love. But the surface is usually a lot more polished than what it covers. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, good.
That is Love and Other Things.
That
Is
is
that Love
love.
and Other Things?
That is it. Love and other things, honey. Because other things, girl.
Yeah. I had to think about it for a second because I was like, 15 years. Who did I like that it been together for that long? But that's Christina and mine.
Yes, girl. Love and other things. I was like, all right, Christina. Yes, girl. Yes. All right. Last up, name that book. The only explanation for their swift, consuming connection, at least the only one that makes sense, right? Girl.
That's either Prior Affair or Equivalent Exchange.
I was about to say, Christina, you just wrote the book, girl.
I had to think about it for a second. I had to think about it for a second because I was like, wait a minute. Because so what happens to me is even once I put a book out, like once I start the next project, I get really consumed with that next project. And so a lot of the details will get fuzzy. So yeah, I had to think about that one for a second. Like, wait a minute.
Girl, I'm gonna need your details not to get fuzzy because we want you to tell us about this book. Yes, it's your latest release, Prior Affair, a night shift novella. So, Christina, tell us without giving us a lot of spoiler because people be writing me, texting me, DMing me, telling me that I'll be spoiling their experience because I'll be hyped and me telling them about the
Yeah, I'm nodding because I do the same thing. Like it's difficult. It's very difficult.
I'll be like, it came out yesterday. Y'all ain't ready yet. Like I'll be tripping. So tell us a little bit about Prior Affair.
So Prior Affair is it's the story of Haley Freeman, who is new to Blackwood, and it's not that much of a spoiler to say that a fire happens in this historic home that she's moved in. And throughout the book, we kind of follow along with her as she discovers this connection to Ellis, who is one of the firefighters that kind of pulls her out of this house. And she thinks that this is the first time that she's ever met him. But the connection that they have, like the quote said, the connection that they have is just it doesn't feel like a brand new kind of connection. It doesn't feel like a just met one night stand type of connection. Like it feels like something else. And throughout, like even as they're kind of navigating that, there's a historical connection that she's figuring out with her family and some secrets and stuff that have been buried, from her parent, her mom and her grandmother have been kind of keeping this family secret that she figures out because she's back in Blackwood. And it's a lot going on, like in a short like for it to be a novella, it's a lot happens. A lot happens in that short length of time.
It was a lot did happen. I was like, how many pages is this book? 170. Like it, girl. Yeah,
it's a lot in there.
It is a lot in there. And what makes you want to pair up the firefighter? Girl, because I love me a firefighter, honey. And wait a minute. Okay, dang. Can we talk about the Brewing Boys Club that he
the BBC?
Girl, the BBC. I was like, what in the world? But that is so hot though.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like when so Prior Affair is kind of a spin. It's not really a book too, but it takes, I guess a spinoff is the best way to describe it. And in the book where I initially introduced that concept and where
Mhm.
Ellis is like really shortly introduced, I had to do a lot of research because the owner of the brewery is like he's the main character in that book, Equivalent Exchange.
Mhm.
And there is so much that goes into that process. Like it's like you wouldn't think it, like beer, like you think, Miller
Um,
Lite,
right.
like when you think about it. But when it comes to like those craft beers, and honestly, probably even Miller Lite, like there's so much like science and all of that that goes into the recipes and the brewing process. And it's honestly a lot like winemaking.
Yeah.
It's a lot like winemaking. It's a lot like spirit making, like bourbon, whiskey, all of those. They all have a lot of similarities, and it's so interesting. Like I know that's like I'm going like complete nerd out on,
No, it's okay, girl. That's
on
what we
that, but
do here.
it's really interesting, like that process. And then calling them the BBC, that was just funny to me.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, okay, Mr. Ellis, you part of the BBC, the
Hey,
Brewing.
the BBC crew.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, that's cute. I absolutely love that. And so this book came out a few weeks ago, correct?
Yeah, like a little over a month ago.
A little over okay, cool. A little over a month ago. Okay, so honey, it's still hot on the press, y'all. Go and get it. Prior affair. Now, Christine, tell us a little bit about Girl Have You Read?
Yes.
You're the co-founder of Girl Have You Read. It's
Yeah.
a popular digital platform that amplifies Black romance authors and their stories. So tell us a little bit about that and how that has come about and
Mhm.
all that good stuff.
So when I first started in this space in Black romance, th- uh, it was very difficult to find spaces that would that would talk about our books and promote our books as work that focused on Black love, romantic stories between two Black characters. There were a lot there. I won't even say there were a lot. There were a couple of places that did focus on Black heroines, but oftentimes it was interracial romance, which nothing is wrong with that. But for a lot of readers and for a lot of authors, that's just not our focus. Like we have a very specific focus on Black love. And so instead of complaining about it, like that's a big thing for me. Like I don't like when I see stuff like that, I don't want to always just complain, like because
Right,
complaining doesn't really do anything. And I don't want to beg anybody, for a
right,
seat at the table, quote unquote. And so me and Alexandra Warren, we had been like we knew each other, we were already friends, and she had a platform where she would post like all different kinds of books. And we sat down one day and we were talking through it and we were like, you know what, let's just start our own. Like instead of sitting around being sad about it, let's just start our own. And so we just did it. And I have a background in web design. And so I built out the website, and she's really, really good at like curating
right.
and gathering everything and putting that together for us, sending it out on social media, all of that. So I think that we make a good team. But what's starting to happen now is that the community has exploded, which is a great thing. But the
Right.
community has exploded, and I can't. Well, I won't say this about her, but I'm getting older and I'm tired, and so we can't do as much as we used to, but we do still keep up with the book spotlights and all, and the book spotlights, cover reveals, all that type of stuff. Always focused on romance novels that center Black romance or center
Mm.
hashtag Black love, and we've been doing it for I want to say like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think this is year 5. And in non-coronavirus times, we host an event every year. We were supposed to be doing our 4th year in St. Louis, and a couple weeks, maybe It may have been longer than a couple of weeks, but it was very close to time for our event. Our event was supposed to be in April,
Yeah.
and in March everything shut down.
Yes.
And we were planning, like we were in the full swing of planning and all of that, and everything shut down. But what the event does is bring together these Black romance authors with readers, and we have a book signing, and we have panels, and we have food, and there's music, and everybody gets to kind of talk to these other, just be in community with other women who love this very same, or not just other women, because there's definitely been men there too, but just be in community with people who enjoy Black romance as well. And so it's fun, and I'm really like fingers crossed that we're able to, continue on with it. But more than anything, it was just us not wanting to sit around and complain about what we saw as a problem, and getting out there and doing something about it, and not just for our own benefit, but for the benefit of the community as a whole. And I'm I've been excited about it. Like I feel good about what we've been able to do, and hope that we're able to continue doing it. I got to make sure I take my multivitamins so I can have energy.
Girl, it's them two daughters of yours got you over there ripping and running, baby.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are doing that, because I thought, I was like, let me go ahead, look it up and see some things. So, girl, because I'm telling you, honey, even though this community has exploded, not enough. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. There's
definitely
still far to go. Yeah.
Yeah, far to go. So we love that. And girl, so I was reading, right, being nosy, because we be like all up in your business, right?
Okay.
And we saw that you was featured in various media outlets such as Oprah Magazine, honey, and Shondaland. Girl, when you open up Oprah Magazine, right, and you saw your face in your book, what did you say? What was your what did you say?
Well,
oh shit.
To make it correct, it was on their website, but I was still like hype about it, because I didn't even see it at first. Another author, Kennedy Ryan, my husband and I, we were actually we were house hunting, and we were looking at houses, and I got a direct message from her, and she was like, did you see this? And I was like, like I saw it, and then I, kept on talking to the realtor, like, I'll have to look at that in a second, because I didn't know what it was. But then I looked at it, and one of my books, Auntie Up, had been listed in this list of the best romance novels of all time, and I was like, all time, that's a lot, but I will certainly take it. Like it's exciting to be mentioned and things like that. But I feel like as exciting as it is, to be mentioned and stuff like that, like I feel like I wish there had been more of us on a list like that. And I want to see more lists like that full of us, because we're writing things that, I'm gonna be honest, like Black indies are writing stuff that will blow a lot of what gets a lot more hype out of the water. We just don't necessarily have the eyes on us. And so something like a mention on the Oprah website, like, yes, like let's keep going with that. Like let's do more of that. It don't have to be CCJ. It could be Love Belvin. It could be Nicole Falls. It could be Alex House. It could be Alex Moore. It could be any of us, all of us. Like I want to see it all. Like, yes, let's get into it. So like it was very, very exciting. But then I kind of immediately was kind of hit with the reality of it. Like, this is dope, but it should be more. Like, I want to see more. I want to see more of us mentioned and stuff like this. And I want stuff like that to not be exciting. I want stuff like that to not be an anomaly. Like, I want that to be regular, because it should be regular.
Yeah, you're right about it. Should be, especially when things are ran by us. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's my company or someone that looks like you owns the company, you would think that it would be more of that. But girl, we're gonna get there. We're gonna, slowly but surely, we're going to get there. Now, publishing. Have you always been an indie author? Have you done traditional? Like when you first decided you want to be an author,
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I'm gonna write me a book. Like, did you say I'm gonna go on and do it myself, or
Mm-hmm.
was you traditionally published at first, or how was that journey for you?
So when I wrote my first book, which was 11 Other Things,
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing something. Like it was, I don't even know that I thought of myself as an author at that time. I was
What?
okay, like I know I like to write, and so maybe I can write a book. Like let's do it. And so I finished it. I made it happen. And then once it was finished, it was kind of like, well, oh, I wonder what else we can do. I never really pursued traditional publishing, especially not for that first project. Someone had told me about, I was in a writer's group, and I believe it was someone in that group that first told me about Kindle Direct Publishing. And so I just published it myself because I didn't really, I didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't,
Right.
it was never a real thought to me that this would end up being my career, like that this is something that was something that I was going to be doing for the next almost a decade at this point. Um, but I'm here. And
Lord.
throughout that process, I've been in indie the whole time. There was, I want to say, the second year I was writing, so this was maybe early 2014. I'd entered like a contest. This was back when Kamani was before Kimani was defunct, back when Harlequin still had their quote unquote black line. They did a pitch contest. In the pitch contest, I don't believe it was exclusive to Kimani, but that's where I would have ended up. I did enter like their pitch contest, and one of my pitch was chosen, but after that, I ended up deciding not to move forward with it. Because there's a lot of rules that come into play. Like once you decide to enter traditional publishing and all of that, there's a lot of rules that come into play with that. And there were rules that I really didn't want to, like, I didn't really want to go by those rules. And it was stuff like the heroine can't spend the night at his house. And like, it was stuff like that. I was like, nah,
What?
I don't know about
What?
that. Yeah, like they had, like it's not that there could not be any sex in the books, like, but there were like these little tidbits. Like they had a list on their website. I don't know if it's still there. They had a list on their website of like what they like their standards for their books. And the more I thought about it, the more it was just like, I don't think this is right for me. I don't think this is right for me. And I think that's one of the best decisions I could have possibly made, because I don't know that I would be where I am now if I had made those concessions, I guess, back then, because I've heard the horror stories, I've seen the horror stories from, other traditionally published authors about their experiences with not just racism, but sexism and all the isms, all
Right.
the isms and all of that in traditional publishing. And while being indie, like, I'm not saying that it's always a walk in the park, because there's difficulties with anything, but there's some very specific, like, how, like, say you're reading reviews for something and somebody might complain about something in a review and you're like, oh, that doesn't bother me that much.
Right.
So, I'll be fine. But then you see this one thing that you're like, no, that's going to send me into a rage. Like, that's really going to piss me off. So I ain't, this ain't for me. It's kind of a situation like that. Like some stuff, okay, cool. I can deal with that. I can eat that. No biggie. But other stuff, not so much. And so I feel like, again, like I feel like that's one of the best decisions I could have made. Like deciding to stick with being indie and writing my stories my way without that filter that it has to go through for traditional publishing. I ain't got to worry about that. I just write what I want to write. And it just,
I'm glad you do, girl. This is one thing I do love about indie author, because I'm like, yo, y'all can write whatever. I'm like, yo, what did I say? What she say in her book? Like, it is wonderful. And I do hear some of the horror stories with indie authors, but it seems like to me it's always the same. It's the marketing of it. They're like, yo, it's just, you got all the freedom, but just the whole marketing, because you're kind of doing everything yourself. But once you got a fan base, you be good, girl.
Yep. Yep. But it's the build, like the building of that fan base, like that is hard. And I think that for a lot of people, there's a certain patience that you need that's very, very, like that's very difficult. I'm not a patient person. And so that part of it was like pulling teeth the whole way because you know, it's hard to figure out what to do because it's not just about necessarily eyes on your work that builds the audience. Like
Right.
somebody can see your work, somebody can try your work, but if they don't like it, they're not coming back. Like
Right.
they have to like the I hate to use the word quality, but that's even though I'm a writer, it's the best word I can think of for what I'm in right now. The quality has to be there that keeps them coming back because, you know, like you can have a pretty cover, you can have a nice title, a nice synopsis, all of that. You can even be able to beautifully string together words. But if the story is not there, if the depth is not there, the character development, you know, the realism, all those things that kind of draws the reader in and keeps them turning those pages and keeps them wanting to connect with whatever you do next. Like that's the part. Like that's like it's both of them. Like you can dump money into marketing or whatever, but if the rest of it isn't there, you're not really building the audience. Like you're getting eyes on your work, but you're not building the audience. And I think that part is still like that's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I definitely understand those complaints. I still struggle with it. Even, you know, 8 years in, I feel like I'm still working on building that audience, even with a fantastic fan base. Like I still have to, you know, I'm still trying to reach new people. I still see people saying that they can't find Black romance. I still see people saying that they want books with 2 Black characters. And I'm like, I've got like 70 of them.
Like, here I go. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Right. And so there's always, you know, there's still people to reach, still, you know, still readers to reach. And so we just press forward.
That's it, one day at a time. And speaking of pressing forward, that brings us to the next segment here in the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather? Well, we take the heroes from your books and we pit them against each other, and you let us know who you want to knock down, honey. One night stand.
Okay.
My face down is
Okay.
All right.
I gotta concentrate.
Concentrate, girl. Ooh, concentrate, honey. Especially on these 2 young men right here. Who'd you rather? Ambrose McNeil or Jordan Johnson?
Oh, that's not fair.
Girl, because honey, I was like, we'll be playing with these balls.
I was gonna say Jordan has like some injury issues, but Ambrose got shots.
It wasn't a groin issue, it was something else.
Okay. Man.
I believe in you, baby.
I choose Ambrose.
Okay.
Because do I have to say why?
No, you want to indulge on
only because him and Tegan aren't married yet, and so he may have broke up. I could.
Are you implementing the girl code right now? Is that
like that's the only way. I'm trying to think of ways to make the decision, and like I can't think of any other way to make the decision.
Wow, Christina, she is a married woman. I love it. All right, you gonna go with Ambrose? I'm going with Jordan. I don't care who he married to. All right, next up, who'd you rather? Oh, let's see what she gonna say, y'all. Andre Clark or Addison Clark?
Addison. Andre is stuffy. Yeah. Andre would get on my nerves.
Yeah. Andre got on my nerves too. Yeah. It was Addison for me too.
Yeah.
I know this one right. This next Who'd You Rather was a little difficult for me because I don't know. So, who'd you rather? Dr. Joseph Wright or Justin Wright?
So Joseph is an OBGYN. So I feel like that should factor, but I would probably want to punch him. So I'm gonna go Joseph.
Huh?
I'm gonna go Joseph. I'm gonna go Joseph.
Okay.
Cause I feel like he knows his way around. I feel
I'm talking about straight to the spot.
Right.
Straight to it. Be like, can you go down there and tell me what
what do you see?
What do you see down there? Straight to it. All right, Christina, author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
Quality. I have I'm very transparent about the fact that I'm in therapy. I've been in therapy for about 2 years. And through that, I've discovered about myself that I will like work myself to the bone, like doing stuff, trying to take on too much. And actually, it's not so much quality as it is figuring out a few things to do and then implementing them at the best quality I can instead of trying to do a lot of things and implementing them at the best quality. Because I'm gonna try for the quality either way. But it's like I can do like a few things and not burn myself out, or I can do a lot of things and do too much, like get to the end of the year and I'm drained and I'm exhausted when I could have just spread some of this stuff out and still everything would have still been exciting and I would have been better rested, less stressed, all kind of all of that. And so my most urgent priority is properly prioritizing what I'm going to do for for the remainder of the year.
I understand that, girl. You have to. As my grandma used to say, girl, you gonna run yourself ragged, you ain't gonna be good, good for nobody. So yeah, get some rest, sis. All right, author's moments. And being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
Oh, okay. So I wish that much earlier on I'd learned that critiques and reviews and all of that, none of that is fact. It's all somebody's opinion. It's all somebody's opinion. Right. And unless they're, unless it's something that is like, unless they are talking about facts, like, man, she kept misspelling this word, or she kept using she kept saying your when she meant your, like, unless it's something like that, all of it is just other people's opinions, and they're entitled to their opinions. Everybody doesn't have to and doesn't like what I do, and they're entitled not to. I don't like everything that I read or watch or listen to, whatever. But those people who are making those movies or making, those shows or making that music or whatever, they're entitled to still make whatever it is they want to make. I don't have to like it. And I can just not consume it. It's real simple. And I kind of discovered the way I kind of came to that revelation is because one of my favorite artists, like, she started doing some like albums and like music that I wasn't really into, but I just didn't listen to it. Like, I didn't feel the need to like get on the internet and complain and I just didn't listen to those. I listened to the stuff that I did like. And it was like, Christina, if you can give, your faves that grace, why can't you give that same grace to yourself? You don't have to consume, this stuff. You don't have to consume the negativity, and you don't have to take it to heart. You don't have to change your work or change, the way that you approach your work, or you don't have to do any of that. It's literally just their opinion. Like now, if it strikes a little too close to home and it hurts a little bit, maybe they're on to something. Maybe they're on to something that that really was bothering you. But ultimately, it's literally just their opinion. Music critics, art critics, TV
Right.
critics, movie critics, all of that.
Right.
Like it's just their opinion. And people have this thing that they do with creators, like, well, she can't take critique. Who are you? Like in terms of that person needing to listen to you and change what they do because of how you feel about it. Like,
Right.
why? Like, if you don't like it, again, that's perfectly fine. Like, if you have a platform, like I'm thinking about like movie and TV critics,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of specifically with that. Like, if you don't like the movie, it's completely fine for you to say that. But
Right.
that director or writer or whoever, they can make what they want to make. The
Right.
audience that is for, the audience that loves it, they're going to consume it. And you don't have to. And so the same would go for creators, kind of on the opposite side. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't like it. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be very vocal about not liking it. They want to make sure you know that they don't like it. And
Then
that's
yeah.
okay. That doesn't mean that you have to change anything though. Like like there's this thing like with society, I guess, right now, where when we don't like something, it's immediately trash. Like
Yeah.
there's no like there's
No
no
great.
in between. It's
Yeah.
like I either love it or it's trash. And I really want us to divest from that. Like I really want us to come to a place where it's okay for stuff to just not be for us. People love cottage cheese. I don't want nothing to do with no cottage cheese, like on any level. Like I don't want nothing to do with that. But it's
Man,
not. I want them to keep making cottage cheese for the people that like cottage cheese. Put their
right.
flavors in it and put it on their bagels or however you eat that stuff. I had a real bad experience when I was a little girl.
Girl,
What people do with it? They have fun with it. I want them to continue making it, even though I don't like it, even though I don't want it. I want them to
that's
continue
their
making it, and I
preference.
want us to just come to that place with art, like with these books and with these movies and with this music
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like everything doesn't have to be for you, and you're not gonna be for everybody. So
Everybody. Yeah.
right, I'm sorry, I'm really wordy. So to answer
No,
the
you
question,
good. You good, girl. You good. It's
you're not
almost
gonna be
like
for everybody, and everybody
right.
don't have to be you.
Exactly. It's almost like oh my god, we had started doing like book reviews, and I'm
Mhm,
like, I read the books that I like, and so I was like,
mhm,
okay, but I don't like when I'm reading a book review from someone and they give like the A, B, C, D, and they like F. I'm like, first of all, that's someone's passion, their hard work that they put
mhm.
into this for you. If you don't like it, just okay, you don't like it. To
Yeah,
me, it's a thin line between criticism and bashing,
yep,
and I don't
yep,
like that. I'd be like, okay, if you don't like it, then just move on. Like, oh,
yeah,
I like this one of hers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just getting on and just making a big ugh about it. I'm like,
yeah,
but what you doing? You going girl, flipping burgers for a living? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that don't be blowing me. I'd be like, you know what, Shay?
yeah,
I'm not. So I get you on there too. I'm with you on that. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. Keep it
yeah.
pushing, girl. We will be okay. You
And
don't
we
like me?
we
I
all
don't
will
like
be
you.
okay.
We all will be okay. Look, you don't like me, I don't like you. We even. God bless. It's cool.
Right.
And it's okay. People just need to be okay with being okay.
Yep.
That's not for me. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like cottage cheese, but if I'm eating something, you're gonna be like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
Yeah, nah.
You know?
I'm going. I might think, oh,
Yeah.
she eating that, but I'm. Hey, look. If it's on, as long as you don't offer me none.
That's it. Whatever floats your boat, rock on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Rock your boat. Do you go on the fat girl? The struggles of it all. All right. Author's moments. Christina, if you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be?
Oh,
Hmm.
oh, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. I'm looking over here on my bookshelf, trying to get some hints. Um, Nubia Perry. Nubia Perry. I feel like she is one of my celebrity characters. And so I feel like she would just have a lot of stories. I feel like she'd be able to give me a lot of tea on everybody. Like, because everybody likes Nubia. I mean, everybody doesn't like Nubia, but most people, she's one of those people that just have that energy about them that, she's easy to talk to and all of that. And so I feel like, but for that reason, I feel like she wouldn't tell me anybody's tea though. Like she might know it, but she wouldn't really tell it. So I don't know. Maybe Arizona then, because Arizona would know some stuff, and she'll be able to tell it to me as like a blind item. So she's not directly telling anybody's business, but she's giving me what I need to know. So I would say Arizona. From Arizona, she's in several projects. Like she kind of dips her toe in a lot of places. But I still have not written anything for her specifically. She's on my radar though.
I was gonna ask you about that. I'm like, because she's so intriguing. You're like, okay, what's up with her? But I'm like, did I miss a book? Because I didn't see it.
Nah.
Okay. I was asked about that. I was like, hold on, girl.
She's marinating.
Okay, let her marinate, girl. Let her marinate. And while you're marinating on her, off this moment, what would your pen name be?
I've actually for real thought about doing a pen name, and this is the part that always catches me up because I don't know. Like I'm so bad. I'm really bad at picking names for stuff, and so usually like Urban Grind, for example, like that's the coffee shop that that appears in a lot of my books.
Yeah.
If I had known that it was going to be such a big part of my catalog, I feel like I would have spent more time with the name. But I literally Googled
I love the
coffee.
Name, though.
Look, I literally Googled coffee related words. And ended up with that, and it's already there's an Urban Grind in Atlanta that I'm going to try my best to get to next time. Next time I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to try to get to it. But yeah, I'm bad with names. I'm bad. I honestly have no idea. I have no clue.
She's like, I have absolutely no clue. Okay, that's what's up. All right, CCJ. Dead or alive?
Okay.
If you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
I would love to and would love to have gotten a chance to talk with Eric Jerome Dickey. So he would definitely be at the table if he accepted my invite.
He would.
That is. I'm trying to. It's only 5, so that's hard. Viola Davis.
Oh yes, girl.
Because I feel like she's one of my favorite actresses, and I just feel like she'd be able to even though we don't work necessarily in the same venue or the same category, I feel like she knows things that I need to know. I feel like she'd be able to tell me some stuff.
Well, actually, actually, you do work in the same because she's an actor.
Yeah,
that's true. And you're a writer, and your stuff it will be on the big screen soon. Real soon. Because I'm telling you, it reads like a movie, girl. Literally, it does. So
and I'm accepting it. I'm receiving it. I would invite Regina for the same reason.
Okay, girl, I love Miss Regina.
Yes. I'm trying to think. Trevante Rhodes, just for me and Viola and Regina to look at. Okay, I feel like I need another author. Even though I had some other people. I want to say Beyonce because I love Beyonce, but I feel like she wouldn't talk a lot. I feel like she wouldn't talk a lot. I feel like she'd be like bored of the rest of us and wouldn't really say much.
She will get
So I'm gonna
overshadowed
pick
for real.
somebody else.
Yeah, she'll get overshadowed for real. Nice girl though,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah. Um. Oh, this is difficult. This is difficult. Um. mm. It's really hard. Oh,
Woo. Well, you got 3, so that's good. Just 2 more.
yeah. I've got 3. No, I've got 4. I've got 4. Trevante,
What you about to say? Right,
uh,
right, 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 right,
Ergeron Zicky,
right. And Regina.
yeah. Um, don't roll your eyes, but I'm gonna say Maya Angelou because I feel like she would
What?
be a
Why
lot of
I roll
fun
my eyes?
because like I feel like it's very cliche. Like I feel like it's probably very cliche to say Maya Angelou, but I feel like she would just have a really nice energy at the table. Like I feel like she's real fun. Like
You
I,
gonna
I
run
feel
the
like she was
table?
very fun.
Yes.
And right, like she would
Yeah.
have so much wisdom and she
Yeah.
would be warm and inviting, or maybe that's not what she's actually like in real life, but that's what she's like in my head. So I'm gonna say my Angelou.
This is your dinner table, and we're gonna make them however you want them to be, girl.
Yeah. So a very eclectic dinner table for me.
But you know what? That would be a very nice dinner table, boy, like for real.
I think so. I think so.
Look at
And now
you,
I'm thinking about what we would eat.
girl. Not chicken, please. No chicken. Okay, all the black people eat chicken. I absolutely love it. Christina, this is bringing us to the end of our interview. We have one question left, but before we ask our last question in the interview, let everybody know first what you got coming up next,
Okay.
and when will that be available, and then let everybody know how can they get in contact with you, all your social media handles, your website, everything. Christina C. Jones, CCJ, y'all.
Well, I'm Beamish Jones across the web. My website is www.beamishjones.com. All my social media handles, I'm on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. I had to think about it for a second. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I really use Facebook a lot, but I'm always all over Instagram. That's like my spot. So that's where you can find me. And then what I have coming up next, I am working on a book titled No Longer Afraid. It is I don't even know how to describe it, but we're getting gritty. It's set in Vegas. It is a motorcycle club novel. The heroine of the book is the second in command of a motorcycle club that I introduced in a different book. And so like
Damn.
there's a lot going on. There's like some violence and some murder.
What? Yes.
Like there's a lot going on with this one, and I'm excited. I am not finished writing it yet, but I am hoping to have it out before the end of this month. Like fingers crossed that I can get it out before the end of this month. And then I think I should have like some audiobooks and stuff coming out, but I gotta see what I can see with that. But again, fingers crossed. I'm gonna make some stuff happen with that. But yes, No Longer Afraid. It is a Predators Motorcycle Club
Ooh.
novel. It's gonna be a full length novel. I know everybody is like I did it. I've done several novellas this year. I have done some full length this year, but I've done several novellas. This is gonna be, I won't say it's gonna be my last full length novel for the year, because I don't think it's gonna be my last one, but this one is gonna be a full length novel. So my people who like the long reads, the ones you really like settle in and you just really settle in and enjoy yourself in that one. It's gonna be one of those.
I'm excited. I cannot wait. Excuse me. I need my my art copy of all that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I need that. All right. The last question. This has been so much fun. I'm so happy to have
really
had a
has.
chance to meet you, man. Like, awesome.
This was fun.
All right. Last up. If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
I'm laughing at myself because my immediate thought was, bitch, guess what?
Yes!
Because I greet my friends like so often with some variation of that. Like that's how I start conversations so often. So I feel like that would just be like, yeah, that I would have to censor it though, because the kids, then they probably want to see the front of mommy's book. Because my kids are very sheltered. But by the time I would come around to writing it, they'd be a little older. So I think we'd be good. Because they'd be a little older. They'll have heard it all at school by that time.
I
Anyway.
absolutely love you. Sound like me. That's how I greet my friends. Like my bestie, she all corporate. She'd be at work, and I call her I'm like, "Bitch, let me tell you." And she be like, "I don't know why." You can hear her scrambling, trying to get me off the speakerphone.
We're trying to turn the phone down.
Yeah, I was like, but she's like, I don't. She's like, I just grabbed the phone. I know I was trying to get to the door quick enough. Then, oh yeah, immediately. That's just me. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a big round of applause to award-winning best-selling novelist, Miss Christina C. Jones. Thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so awesome. Hold tight for me.
All right.
All right, Brown Bookers, you guys know the routine. If you liked that interview, and I know you did, please hit the like and subscribe button below if you haven't. Tell a friend. Every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, Brown Book Series is right here. Yo, it's like a romance Wednesday. Because after you hear with me at 6 o'clock, you're going to leave me at 6, go to Reese Ryan at 7 o'clock for Authors Behind the Pages. And after you're going to leave Reese at 7, you'll be with Reese from 7 to 8. Then at 8 o'clock, we're going to cruise on over to Cruise Radios with Iris Bolling for Iris Moments. And also on Wednesdays, make sure you check out Sarah McLean's Fated Mates. And hey, that's what we do. It's a Romance Wednesdays. I'll see you guys on next Wednesday. Be good, be safe, be blessed.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book,